So in a smart home environment or commercial automation facility or with audio in general, what ties it all together? I'm Tyson Rabany with Quality Audio Video. We are here in our world-class facility in Centennial, Colorado. And I've got a friend of mine here who I consider absolute world-class. This is Isaac with AudioQuest, and he's their ambassador. Thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate it. So AudioQuest makes a real wide variety of products, right? You've got power products, you've got video products with HDMI cables, audio products, including speaker cables. What ties it all together?
That is such a great question, Tyson, and I really appreciate you asking that. And what we're trying to do at AudioQuest is to counteract the predominant cause of noise and distortion today, the new noise, which is largely RF. We as passionate music lovers, as passionate movie lovers have paid the greatest consequence for the new world that we live in. Access to all of the world's information, the historical record of humanity on our cell phone requires us to communicate this information wirelessly. And most of that is carried on 2.4 5 gigahertz if we're thinking about Wi-Fi. Bluetooth is 2.4 gigahertz. Even your cell phone reception is, lowest is 400 to 800 megahertz. And all of these high-powered, high-frequency devices pump out a lot of noise that couple into our delicate audio and video signals. And so whether it's with ground noise dissipation, patented in our Niagara products, or speaker cables or power cables, or it's some of our noise dissipation techniques from using carbon-loaded material in Carbon HDMI Vodka HDMI, we're essentially trying to do less damage. Do no harm is our goal by removing as much of or reducing as much of that distortion as possible.
That's a great point, right? So much of technology has gone wireless or has a signal that it's broadcasting or receiving. And so you're now in an environment, in a modern home or commercial facility that is jam-packed with wireless frequencies of all spectrums, right? You mentioned there's just a few of them right there. And so, it's really interesting to think about AudioQuest as a company or cables themselves, right? As, products that are designed to reject that emission and get, do less or do no harm, right? So,
well, the thing that you said that I think is really fascinating is you used the descriptive term jam-packed. And just to capitalize on what we really mean by jam-packed is that the FCC limits the output of our wireless access points, the thing that makes Wi-Fi work, the FCC limits it to 1,000 milliwatts for our safety. Yeah. So we are purposefully putting in RF generators frequently in multiple places throughout our home, right? And we need to do something about that if the goal is to get the best audio video. And I think anecdotally, some of the people that I've known over the years who have been in audio for a couple of decades will tell you about what it used to be like listening to music late at night in the 70s and 80s before we had so much of this RF contamination, right, throughout our homes. And of course, that doesn't even take into account things like AC compressors, refrigerators, and other things that rob your power inside your house, the wall, from being able to give you all the current that the most powerful amplifiers desire. So that's where our Niagara technology comes in, is to address that as well.
And so with the Niagara, that's you're referring to the power products in the power series.
Yes, exactly right. So our Niagara is designed by our Senior Director of Engineering, Garth Powell. And he has a storied history in our industry, creating some of the most famous products that not only people like you and me might use in our homes and our systems, but the type of products that professional musicians use to play on stage when performance is the only acceptable option. Some of his products are what you'll find at venues like Red Rocks and Toyota Center, Wembley assembly, stadium, these are the types of environments where his early work was focused. The fact that he's also a professional gigging percussionist helps to inform his ear for what these products should sound like, not just how they should measure.
It's completely amazing, right? So it's like, behind the scenes, I mean, a lot of people in the industry might know Garth Powell, of course. But outside of the industry, have no idea that there's someone with that level of heritage and legacy that is continuing to develop world-class power products and developing technology at the level that is being developed right now is completely impressive.
Thanks, Tyson. One of the things that we're really proud of at AudioQuest, and the story that Garth and Bill, the CEO, founder, owner of AudioQuest, are proud to share is that when Garth joined us approximately 7 years ago, it was 2 years before his first product came out. And to think in the modern era that any talented engineer would be told, listen, take as much time as you need, take as much money as you need, don't waste time, don't waste money, but take advantage of these resources in order to understand and develop a new innovative technology. And that's what makes Niagara so powerful. It is all of the stuff that Garth had worked on in the beginning, forming these ideas, taking those ideas, executing them at the next level, adding new technology, and then having the understanding of things like directionality, and being able to implement and design new circuits around his new discoveries have allowed us to bring Niagara to the world.
And I really enjoy talking about that. So we started off by trying to figure out what ties everything together in a smart home environment, in a commercial facility. And we briefly just touched on the assortment of AudioQuest technologies that bring it all together and what makes it really special. So thank you again for that. I really, really appreciate that. That was awesome.
My pleasure to come here.
Well, really appreciate you watching it today. I'm Tyson Rabany with Quality Audio Video in the Centennial, Colorado showroom. Hop over to AudioQuest.com, check out their website. They have a ton of information there that you can look at some of the different technologies that we talked about today. And I encourage you to stop by if you're in the area, give us a ring, and be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. We'll see you next time. Thanks.